Hello guys and girls, welcome back to the Racing Line for another circuit guide here on iRacing. This is week 7 of Season 1 2022 in the D-Class Fixed Touring Car Challenge with me driving the Honda Civic Type R. This week's circuit we are around Watkins Glen, the cup layout, so the small layout with the chicane, and the date and time is set to the 1st of April 2022 at 12 o'clock in the afternoon to match the official race times sent out on the Season 1 PDF. All circuit guides are run with the sprint car setup, same format as before, a breakdown lap followed by a full speed uninterrupted lap followed by an offboard lap, and as usual this is filmed before the week has begun so it's difficult to compare lap times, but let's see if we can help you guys find some time. So here we go then on the main straight. We want to be on the left-hand side, getting ready for the 90-degree right-hander of turn 1. It goes downhill into the braking zone. We're going to brake just slightly before the 200-metre board. You might be able to push it to the 200-metre board. Hard on the brakes from 5th down into 3rd. Get it turned in. Hit the apex nicely. Get straight back on that power as the camber of the corner pulls you in. Keep 2 wheels on the curb at all times. And then obviously full speed, holding it tight to the right up through this hill. It's flat out now for a little while. You're going to come over to the left to hit this next apex. Still flat out at this point. And then back over to the right to hit this apex. Still flat out at this point. You're going to go up into 6th gear and then slowly drift over to the left-hand side, preparing yourself for the chicane up ahead. This is done with the old suspension for the Honda, so it might be a little bit easier now. The braking zone, the 300-metre board from 6th, and we're going to go down into 5th initially and just sort of coast in and get ready to straighten the car because it used to bounce quite wildly over this curve, and then after that bounce we downshifted into 4th, held it tight to these next 2 apexes, accelerating flat out through the final left and right part of the chicane, so the second half of the chicane. We then lift off in 4th gear, coast in, and at the midpoint of this long right-hander we start to put our accelerator back down smoothly at about 60% until we know that it's going to bite, and then back up to 100%. You can run the car right out over the curb with no 1x there, so make sure you use all the track if you need to. Back over to the right hand side for this fast left right. The 300-metre board again is where we're going to dab our brakes from 6th down into 5th gear. Coast in, smoothly apply the power using all the track on the exit, keeping 2 wheels on the curb at least. Back over to the left, and our final braking zone is just as that tyre wall on the left ends. Just as we pass that is we're going to dab the brakes back down to 4th, hit the apex, and again because of the camber you can get the power on nice and early just before the apex. Come right out to that wall which feels a little bit wider than it used to on the old layout of Watkins to get a nice and easy exit and across the line for a 117 here. Hard on the brakes, full speed uninterrupted now at the 200-metre board, down into 3rd gear, hit the apex point and then straight back on that throttle. No smooth application needed there for turn 1 as we absolutely plant the throttle down and then get ready for this nice flat out section. You could see that there was like 2 levels to that first curve. We're actually using the higher level as our apex, so we cut a little bit of it. Flat out through this S section like you saw. It went right, left, right. Then we slowly drift over to the left-hand side, ready for the chicane. Looking for the 300-metre board again. We're in 6th gear. Look for the 300. Dab the brakes down to 5th. Over the curb. Dab the brakes again down to 4th. Hold it tight to the left. And now straight back on the power. Full speed through the next left, right. And now we're going to lift off in 4th. Look for the telephone pole on the right-hand side. There it is. Now we start accelerating from this point around 60% until we know it's going to grip, and then up through the gears on the exit using all the track if we need to. You can see you basically want as little steering input as you need so that you don't scrub off any speed going through these high speed corners. 300-metre board again just as we pass it down to 5th, coast in, start accelerating from the apex point. And a bit of a confidence lift there on the exit. Over to the tyre wall on the left, dab the brakes again, down to 4th, hit the apex and the camber pulls you in nicely as you start to accelerate out towards the wall. Be careful not to hit that wall, of course. It could be race ending. As usual, that is pretty much it from me. A 117.1 around the Watkins Glen Cup layout with its suggestive looking track map. As usual, that's pretty much it from me. I'm going to leave you with this offboard lap. Don't forget to keep those likes and comments coming in and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if I don't see you on track this week, then I'll see you next week for the next video here on the Racing Line. Peace.